We now have speech from Shri D.P. Prakash, who is an executive director of KSIADC, who is an excellent orator. We have heard his scholarly talks in the previous programs organized by Basava Center of North America. His talks are very inspiring and motivating. We look forward to listening to him again today. To introduce him, I would like to now invite upon Shri Jagdish Biradar.
Om Shri Guru Basavallingaya Namaha. Hara Basavaya Nama endu Papaduranade, Guru Basavaya Nama endu Bhavaduranade, Linga Basavaya Nama endu Lingankitanade, Jangama Basavaya Nama endu Nimma Pada Kamaladalli, Brahmanade Kana, Sangana Basavaguru, Kapila Siddha Mallikarjuna Swami. Ellarigu Sharana Sharanarthigalu, Matte Basava Jayantiya Shubhashayagalu. I am honored to introduce the next speaker, Shri D.P. Prakash. Shri D.P. Prakash is from Bengaluru. He is a renowned scholar and profound speaker on Basava philosophy. His in-depth knowledge, creative approach, compassion, and calm composition makes him an unique ambassador of Basava philosophy. Shri D.P. Prakash is currently serving as Executive Director of KSIIDC, Government of Karnataka. He has served as Assistant Commissioner of Commercial Taxes and as a Private Secretary to the Honorable Speaker and Private Secretary to various ministries in Government of Karnataka, such as Rural Development, Panchayat Raj, Rural Water Supply, and Sanitation. He is an able administrator, writer, television anchor, educationist, counselor, and a leader in many ways. He has written over 2,000 articles, both in Kannada and English, highlighting human values as exemplified in the Sharana philosophy. He has been kind enough to devote time in the past programs of Basava Center of North America. Thank you for that. Now, I invite Shri D.P. Prakash to enlighten us with his insights on the occasion of Global Basava Jayanti celebration. Sharana Sharanarthi.
Sharana Sharanarthi to everyone. It's like coming back home with this program. I've been a very regular attendee. Of course, I mean, I'm elated to join again. There is no doubt about it. And I congratulate the whole team, which has very successfully connected people across the continent and creating a platform for some people to share their thoughts. It's a very healthy and very encouraging practice. You have unfailingly doing it every year amidst your work pressure, other commitments. You're coming out, remembering your roots and the nativeness, and more than anything else, conducting a program on such parameters which go into the chiseling of personality is something very challenging nowadays. You can conduct a program on entertainment, people voluntarily come. And when you conduct a program of this kind, it needs a lot of commitment to come and devote a couple of hours, which ultimately go into the shaping of personality. And my best wishes on the occasion of Basava Jayanti. We as human beings spent more than or nearly 900 years after Basavana experimented and set up a parallel society to show us that how society can really become a fulcrum using which the human civilization can be lifted to another echelon. Indian civilization in particular, and human civilization in general have been punctuated with three major events which are referred to Indian history. The first one is the Indus Valley civilization, which showed us the whole world that how an egalitarian and utility-based civilization can grow and flourish and show the way to the next coming civilization. Second is the life of Buddha, which gave us another paradigm to live usefully and uplift the sufferings. And third one is the life of Basaveshwara and this pluralistic leadership, which rendered the society to assume a new dimension with new set of coordinates. What we need to carefully observe and examine is how could that particular society be formed in less than 4 to 5 decades? We are struggling from past 800 plus years to replicate and at least have a reminiscent of what happened in 12th century. Still, we have not achieved the goal. But in that particular era, where technology was not there and communication was only through voice to voice, mouth to mouth, and the transportation is either manual or very primitive in nature. If such was the case, people were attracted from faraway places like Kashmir and other states, come together, renounce everything which was not meaningful to them, and assemble in one particular place, give a very beautifully concerted and coordinated effort, and show us and build us a parallel society which go into the upliftment of civilization. That kind of a thing we need to examine whenever we read Vachana, whenever we read history about Sharanas. No doubt, enough have been said about Sharanas, enough have been said about the personality of Basaveshwara. There is no doubt about it. But the time has come to examine it very closely, take it to our heart, and understand what all the things which are conceivables, how I need to conjure this system, what can I do, how can I replicate things. Everyday activities can render an opportunity for us to try and come out with something very meaningful. It's very easy. I can go on talking about Sharanas and Basaveshwara and its leadership, his reforms. That's fine. How much have I allowed those things, those messages to stir my heart and let them come into my nerves and change the way I think about society, think about others, think about my state, my village, my town, my state, and so on. This is an ecosystem created by Basavanna and his followers in 12th century that existed in a very small place called Basava Kalyana in northern part of Karnataka, which has in the modern contemporary time has attracted a person like Steve Roche, who has been nurtured and being shaped in a very capitalistic economy, which has fortified itself and it protects itself. In that environment, that person has grown, but he has been attracted by this literature. And now I'm sure he will walk further and examine the ecosystem which existed in 12th century. Only then you will be disturbed and your dimensions will be altered. Your comfortable coordinate systems will be rearranged and the way you look at the world will be changed. Only then you can say, yes, Sharanas have influenced me and only then you can own a Basavana. Just imagine, 5 decades completely altered the whole direction of the history, completely altered. And it allows itself for the coming generation to visit and revisit and take the messages back home and try and implement and reform. This particular thing did not leave even Times of India. Times of India records in 1918, May 17th, in its editorial. Lot of reforms were taking place. From 1915 to 1947 is a very intense period in Indian subcontinent. 1915, Mahatma Gandhi came back to India from South Africa, and then he immediately pressed the accelerator and the reforms unleashed its form. In 1918, Times of India writes, it was the distinctive feature of Basavana's mission that while illustrious religious and social reformers in India before him had each laid his emphasis on one or other item of religious and social reform, either subordinating more or less other items to it, or ignoring them altogether. But Basavana sketched and boldly tried to work out a large and comprehensive program of social reform with the elevation and independence of womanhood as its guiding point. This is very important. Neither social conferences which are annually held in these days in several parts of India, nor Indian social reformers can improve upon that program as to the essentials. As was in substance remarked by the late Sir James Campbell, whose knowledge of Indian history, customs and manners was almost phenomenal, the present day social reformer in India is but speaking the language and seeking to enforce the mind of Basaveshwara. I'll repeat, the present day social reformer in India is but speaking the language and seeking to enforce the mind of Basaveshwara. What I would like to attract from your side is the contemporariness of his thoughts, his messages, and his reforms of 12th century standing in the 21st century. Look at the contemporariness. Look at the universal nature of those reforms and the messages. That means why Sharanas all come together forgetting about their history, the caste, the creed, the wealth, their attitudes, their nature, their customs, they all coalesced in a manner that they all look the same, they all look the one. What was the binding force? They lived and they recorded their experiences. That is the most important. And each are in the form of Vachana. And each Sharana in 12th century, when they read Vachana, they understood the conceivables in it. And also they understood the deliverables in that Vachana. That is why society progressed on the wheels of these reforms. That is why society assumed a new dimension, new form, thereby creating an altogether a different ecosystem. That is necessary now today. India is at a threshold of unleashing its dormant power. India is the populous country in the world today. It has beaten China. We are 141 crore people, the most populous nation on this planet. Not only a largest democracy, but as far as the population is concerned, our country is the biggest. And I'll tell you one more thing. 65% of this population is under the age of 35. Do you know the explosive power of this young population? It is enormous. It is enormous. The United Nations Development Report says about this young population of India, young people are the innovators, creators, builders, and leaders of the future. But they can transform the future only if they have skills, health, decision making, and real choices in life. Please examine each word, very carefully drafted, very carefully crafted. He says, until and unless this young population has skills, health, decision making, and real choices in life, and continue to say, never before have there been so many young people. Never again is there likely to be such potential of economic and social progress. How we meet needs and aspirations of young people will define our common future. Understand this. But I'll tell you, this is so encouraging, so colorful, so wonderful. Yes, India is the biggest nation. It's a huge power. But open the door and go to the heart of India, and you have a lot of statistics which paint the other side of this nation. There are anomalies. 1.7 lakh people commit suicide every year, which is more than 20% of the total suicidal numbers in the world. Why? Out of this young population, National Statistical Survey Organization says 57.25% of people are educated. What about the remaining 40+ portion of the population? The population is 65% of 141 crores. What about them? 5% of the people hold 67% of the wealth of our nation. What about the remaining 95% of the population of our country? These are something which we need to think about it, ponder over. There is a World Happiness Report. Forget about the Human Development Index. World Happiness Report, where do we figure India? We figure in the rank of 126th out of 150 countries. Any common man will sit back and ponder over, what is this nation up to? What is a nation now? Nation is nothing but people who live within that boundary. We define nation. That means we need to examine ourselves. Why 12th century society was so joyful, so peaceful, so content? Swamiji said, Moligeya Maraya could renounce all his wealth and come to Basava Kalyan and become a wood collector. He used to collect wood and lead his life, and happily lead. And hundreds of vachanas have been penned down by him. Why? When I am not happy, I don't write. I write with a meaning or with a fond hope that my next generation will read what I have written, so that they unearth the way I have walked the path. That means there is an anomaly in our system, in our society, in our civilization, in our subcontinent. How to do that? How to correct that anomaly? How do I set the path right? How do I walk the path properly and correctly? How do I own up the society? Basava Jayanti is one such event where all of us can come together and ponder over this burning issue. Let us not consider Vachana as a piece of literature. We read, somebody interprets, we enjoy it, go back home and lead the same life. And get embedded into this mundane practice of everyday's rat race. Get up in the morning, sleep in the night. And how did I spend the day? Did I do something very nice in my office? Did I do something very nice in my home? Did I do something nice where I spoke to my friend? Did I influence some people? Did I say something good about my life to others so that others could get encouraged? Did I throw some catalyst into the group where it can really churn out something which resulted in a new dimension? I think these are the questions we need to ask about ourselves, ask somebody else. Some of the things I would like to share with you today. Why Basavana society was happy. Think about it. Why Basavana was so content? Why all others were so content? Why did they follow the orders or the direction of Basavana? Why Molige Maraya came to Basava Kalyan from Kashmir? Why Dohara Kakkaya was so revered by Basavana? Though he belonged to the lowest rung of the society. Why? Today I'll discuss about I'll throw some light on only 4 characters, 4 parameters. One is the social cohesiveness. Second is the social accountability. Third one is economic and social equality. And fourth one is an altruistic society. What is social cohesiveness? Cohesiveness is indivisible totality. Molige Maraya was collecting wood, but is revered by all. Ambigara Chaudaya was using boat, transporting people from one bank to the other, and he was revered by all. Madiwala Machideva was washing clothes, but revered by everybody. That means, irrespective of your origin or your birth, irrespective of your wealth, irrespective of your occupation, irrespective of your customs and background, you had a very respectful position in the society. What do you mean by, if I say Prakash has a respectful position in the society, means what? I have not snatched that respectful position. It has been given by others. If Mr. Biradar has a respectful position in the society, that means it has been given to him by others. Look at the traits, look at the characters, look at the nature. That is the cohesiveness of the society. How do you adopt this? You can adopt this, you can start doing it in your office. Whether he is an attender, or a clerk, or an officer, or an accountant, or a decision maker. Please look at them, with the same respect, with the same love and affection. Indirectly, you're encouraging everybody there to contribute more. That is what the 12th century society did, because everybody did that. That is the cohesiveness of that. Today, society is divided in the name of caste, in the name of creed, in the name of occupation, in the name of region, in the name of birth. in the name of customs, in the name of language, in the name of wealth. Where is the social cohesiveness? I think time has come and we are at the brink of falling down. We need to borrow this parameter from 12th century society. We need to borrow, understand, examine, own it, adapt it with a humble beginning, what Basaveshwara established in 12th century, the social cohesiveness. What is the social accountability? When Aidakki Maraya brings back home one extra fistful of rice, Aidakki Lakkamma says, you have done a thing which is against Basavanna's principle. And she says, go back and give back to Basavanna that extra fistful of rice you have brought, which does not belong to you because you have not earned that. Look at the intensity of that accountability. That is a social accountability. If a vegetable vendor gives you an extra 100 rupee while giving you a change by mistake, how many of us have a courage and that character of accountability to go back from my home to his shop and give, look, you have given me extra 100 rupees, it does not belong to me, you take it back. How many of us have that courage? If you find a bundle of notes on the road, how many of us have sat down there on that very spot, waiting for the owner to arrive at any point of time? We don't know what kind of a person he or she was, losing that amount of money, thinking that she might be a servant, might be an attender, might be a poor lady carrying that money to give it to a doctor, to give it to somebody else. That kind of a feeling, that kind of, a pain which you can undergo. How many of us have done it in our lifetime? It is a small thing. Small things only changed the society in 12th century, not huge. Building dams, building infrastructure, building bridges, no. Just correcting the coordinate system which was there in the mind, fine-tuning it, setting the frequency right with what that contemporary time needed. That is what we need to take back home. Basava Jayanti is something which is a very punctuated time. A sand dune. We go every year and pass for a while, hold the time back, re-examine that coordinate system of 12th century and take it back home. Look, this is how I need to fine-tune my stand, my approach, my attitude, my character, my language, how I look at others, how I talk to them. These small things can 100% reform your place of work, your city, your town, your home, your lane, your area, and thereby completely consuming the whole city into your abode of reforms. That is needed. We are ignoring it. We are enjoying what Vachana literature holds for us. That's enough. Let us travel further. Let us open the door. Go into that crux. Look at the crucible. There are a lot of things. Go into that ecosystem. Feel by ourselves. What was there? How did you do it? How did it happen? It can change the way you think. It can change the way you think. Social and economic equality. Basavanna gave two important, invaluable concepts, Kayaka and Dasoha. He said, Kayakave Kailasa. Very roughly you have translated. Work is worship. It's not work is worship. Kayakave Kailasa is something which fills every void of your life. Kayaka is so progressive. It makes you independent. removes the stigma of dependency. It makes you very, very dynamic because you are busy. You have embraced Kayaka. It is amazing. Society becomes dynamic when everybody embraces Kayaka. It brings about an enormous growth in economy. When all Sharanas were happy, content, joyful, the distractors went and complained with Pijjala, saying that your treasury has been plundered by Basavanna and his followers. That is why they are very happy, wearing good clothes, they are joyful. Pijjala ordered the inquiry and finally found out the treasury was full, completely filled with wealth than the previous years. Look at the resonance. Look at the resonance. Treasury is filled, completely filled and full, and people are happy. See the equivalence. That is the equivalence we need to strike. I might reach trillion, economy. I may become. Look at 141 crores here. I mean, the whole world will look at you because you hold the largest market. The largest market. Steve Roche will be very happy because India is a market of 141 crores of people. And young people contribute 65% of the population. What all they need? But are we happy within? Individually, I might say I'm happy. So is society happy? That is why the altruistic society character has to come. What is altruistic society? Selfless society. If somebody falls, I leave everything and run to him or her. If somebody is robbed, I run to his rescue. If somebody is being beaten up, I run to him or her. If somebody is being cheated, I run to his or her rescue. Because society has a cohesiveness. That is why it can respond instantaneously, immediately. Don't think that these are all very abstract thoughts and how can I implement? Don't ponder over like this. These are our very simple things. Simple thing like not believing Rahu Kala, Gulika Kala. These are the simple things. You can disown them because it is going to reduce your age, reduce your time of activity because you don't do it in Rahu Kala. You don't do anything. You don't do good things in Rahu Kala. You don't do good things in Amavasya. That is why Basavanna preached. Don't just take it to your mind, take it to your heart. What Vachana carries. Beautifully, Madam Sunita, and Mrityunjay Shettar so beautifully rendered those wonderful Vachanas. It is not a piece of music. It is a package of explosive messages. That package is very important. That deliverables are very important. Those conceivables are very important. Those are the most important things. You will not eat the outer core of coconut, no? You will crack, you will fight, go to the inner core of coconut and enjoy that particular fruit, isn't it? Same thing holds good as far as Vachana is concerned. We need to do it. Before you go to sleep, you need to think about it, ponder over that. Because you have bequeathed that huge asset. Individually, everybody owns that Vachana. You own 22,000 Vachanas. Can you imagine, Mr. Biradar? You own 22,000 of Vachana. You own it. You are the owner. You have bequeathed it. It has been handed over to you from generation to generation, starting from 12th century. That is why you feel proud sitting there across these 7 oceans. You're proud to spend some time. You dedicate yourself. That is how it commends. That is the direction we need to adopt. That is the direction we need to adopt. we have come to a very, very edge of our about. We will fall. We will fall. In 1928, American economy fell down like a thud because that was the brink. And Franklin D. Roosevelt had to come to lift that economy up. Here, not economy, our life is going to fall. We will lead a very miserable life, very discontent life. Why are you there? Why are you earning? Why are you working hard? Why are you burning oil in the midnight? Because you want to reach that objective of eternal peace, eternal happiness, a bundle of joy. Isn't it? You're finding ways, means. It is there in Vachana. It is there. He has already given to you. Those are all proven. Those are all proven. Proven with huge diversity. And you can do that. And you can live that wonderful life. Start from small things in your office, home, your gathering, your club, your lane, your area, city, wherever. Keep influencing people. Before you can influence them, understand Vachana properly. Understand it well. Need not have to be taught by anybody else. You can understand as well. Very simple language. Very simple language, but explosive messages. It can change your life. It can change your life. You can audit your time. You can audit your wealth. I have not spent even a pie on something which is meaningless, either practices or any culture. I have not spent even a pie on such useless things. We have been swarmed by lot of misbeliefs, lot of superstitions. They will suck your wealth slowly. Stop it. Plug it. You can enhance your asset. Not only time, you can enhance your wealth. The moment you collect the wealth, when you plug that loophole, you feel like sharing it with somebody else. That's the most meaningful life you can lead. That's the most meaningful life. I need not have to recite any Vachana. I need not have to tell the story. I need not have to give you the history. All of you know about it. Only is tweaking my thinking process, my narrative, the way I approach everything every day in day-to-day activities. Try not to become angry with anybody else. Try that. Try to be very happy, smiling. Nothing will happen. We will not die. Absorb that anguish of others. You will not die. You become enlightened. You become elated. When you resist some desire and greedy thing, I promise you, by the end of the day, you feel very happy. You feel very happy that I could resist that. That kind of a life always brings in permanent happiness, an eternal joy, an eternal peace in my mind. That's all the Basava Jayanti can offer you. That's all you can take from Basava Jayanti. Basava Jayanti is a wonderful punctuation to the run of time. It punctuates time so meaningfully. It comes only once in a year. And that, hold it very close to your heart. Make it very meaningful. Make it something like you have been serviced. You have been overhauled and you feel very fresh. That's all I can share on this occasion. It's such a wonderful time. It's an amazing effort by all of you. And once again, I thank all the organizers. I'm really grateful to you because you people have put in lots of effort to bring in people and have been so patient and investing your time. 1 hour is a bundle of energy, is a bundle of wealth. So you have invested. And I pray that this investment will be meaningful, and this investment will go into the whole effort of this cosmos, which tries to bring down the entropy. I'm sure some of the science people will understand entropy. Entropy is a measure of disorderliness, and we need to bring it down, go into the zeros. So all anomalies exist in our society is a wonderful opportunity for this civilization, this contemporary civilization, to contribute. If there is no anomaly, you don't have an opportunity to contribute. And we have lots of anomalies. We are the largest nation and we have anomalies, and our contemporary civilization has wonderful opportunity to contribute. And you have an ecosystem which you can enact now in 21st century, what was there in 12th century, and change the course of history again. So you don't expect Basavana to come back again. We should not. When the message is there, we should not aspire for it. So I once again congratulate you and my best wishes on this occasion, and wonderful rendering of Vachana, very, very ethereal. I enjoyed. Madam Rashmi, I enjoyed it so beautifully. Excellent, wonderful. May God bless you. Continue to render more, continue to influence people, and continue to put in your effort to bring in more people and try to change the course of society moves forward. Thank you very much. My respectful Sharana Sharanarthi to everyone. Thank you.
ಅನಂತಾನಂತ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಶ್ರೀ ಡಿ.ಪಿ. ಪ್ರಕಾಶ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ. Thank you very much to Shri D.P. Prakash for his scholarly talk. You have very beautifully outlined the relevance of Basava principles even now in the 21st century and even to the younger generation. You have eloquently explained as to how easy and simple it can be to adopt the Basava principles if one wishes to. Thank you very much on behalf of Basava Center of North America to Shri D.P. Prakash.